coworkers that kind of lead up. First area is kind of the advocacy group. Dan Ebert, who was past chair of the PSCW in Wisconsin, Public Service Commission, he leads our advocacy group. So, if there's legislators that are looking for, trying to persuade them to see things our way, we go out to Washington a lot with once a year with our members, some of our members, and try to meet with our legislators to try to convince them to see things the way we do. We've been very successful in a few areas. Preserving tax-exempt financing is important for us to be able to be competitive with the other utilities who are getting their own kind of government benefits. Environmental regulations, this is going to be hugely important as we work through what the EPA is trying to do on the Clean Power Plan, on the regulation of CO2. Just to make sure that if whatever they implement, it doesn't. We want to make sure it works for us and our members, and that we're not harmed any more than anyone else is. And so there's definitely some things we want to make sure we happen there. We want to make sure that however it gets implemented, there's a good, robust kind of trading system in place, so that whatever it does, it's done in an efficient manner. We've had some other recent successes on the municipal bond resolutions and the CFTC, trying to get the utilities where they were trying to regulate smaller utilities, and we were able to convince the CFTC, which is the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, not to regulate the smaller utilities. It wasn't necessary. Another significant part of what we do is services. Basically what the bottom line is, we want to be able to provide the same services that the investor-owned utilities do to their customers, and we are able to do that. We've got 77 different types of services that we provide members, and so we're able to do that in a very cost-effective way. Interruptible, we can provide interruptible for large customers, or standby generation. We can provide that the same way any investor-owned utility can do, just as an example. Other services we provide for members, we do most of the rate cases that we'll do for almost all of our members. Billing, metering, billing support services. A lot of utilities are starting to look at AMI, automated meter reading, smart metering. So a lot of utilities are doing that. We wanted to make sure if any member that did do that of ours, that they did it in a way that was very cost effective. So we purchased the software in-house that basically reads all those meters and manages all the data. It's a very data management system, and it's a very expensive piece of software. We've invested so far over $2 million in just the software and a couple of staff people just to be able to run that. So we've got about 4 or 5 members of our 50 that have implemented or mostly implemented the system. And so we're able now to any member who wants to do it, we just want to make sure that they're doing it in a way that if they use our system, they can do their own, but if they use ours, it's going to be very cost effective, and it's going to be you're only going to get the full value out of the system, which is a lot of vendors will tell you that they're selling you this stuff, and they'll say you can get it, but it is not as easy as the vendors make it out to be. But we have a very dedicated, very good staff in this area. We provide distribution services to some members, joint purchasing. A lot of our members will use our system, which means we can get a little more economies, that we can get larger bulk purchases at a little better price. We take special care of some of our larger customers, and we've got a key accounts, and we got a marketing and customer communications group as well to help with communications. Obviously, for the customers, energy efficiency, energy services, and renewable energy is a key part of some of the services we provide customers. Some of the dividends that we've provided independents in 2013. Clearly, we've with Tom Westhoff, your ESR, we're able to save customers, energy by using energy conservation, and so we were able to, we're estimating in 2013 about $50,000 in customers, saving on their electric bills. Commit to community dollars, contributions we make to the community and for other energy efficiency projects. Another big part of the savings, I don't, and this is, I put this in here just because it's a little bit unique to Iowa members. Iowa has some of the most expensive transmission system costs probably in the Midwest, probably double most of the other regions in the country, at least in the region. WPPI, because we're treating all of our members on the same basis, all of our members get the average costs, and so you're basically benefiting because Wisconsin, Michigan transmission costs are significantly less than they are in Iowa, and because you're getting the average transmission costs, you're saving about $550,000 a year in transmission costs, as if compared to if you would have went out on your own and went out and bought power, you would be paying another $550,000 a year in transmission costs.
So why is ours so high?
Why is it high? Well, there's probably a lot of reasons for that. I mean, it was taken over by ITC, which is Alliant sold it to, which was ITC Midwest, which is a company out of Michigan. They did a lot of upgrades, and they converted a lot of system, a lot of stuff over from 34 to 69 kV, and they spent a fair amount of money doing that, and very quickly. I think they probably, I think most of the utilities think that they went probably too quick in doing those conversions. It wasn't really maybe necessary, but they've, costs went from one of the lower cost transmission systems to one of the more expensive cost transmission systems in a matter of about 3 or 4 years. FERC, all that is done is regulated at FERC out in Washington, and so there was not much that really could be done here at the local level. It was once it was sold to ITC. Other dividends, we work with the school districts pretty significantly in finding savings for the schools and new schools. Looks like that was something we did here in Independence, and WPPI also, and to make sure you can get all the value of the services and everything, WPPI, one of our employees, which is Tom Westhoff, is here in Independence quite a bit, along with some, a few, he works for other members as well, but he helps you, get all the value you can out of WPPI. So that's another thing that we paid for. So basically, I mean, in summary, kind of the key takeaways, at Independence, Light Power Communications is a very valuable asset. It's something that really adds value to your community, just like all the other 51 members that we have. We think it's a valuable asset, and people should be very proud of the utility they have. We have 3 areas of service that we're going to continue to be advocate and work for you on your behalf. And I think I just want you to leave with is that, it's a lot easier to do this as a group than it is to do it individually. One utility may time the market perfectly. It might end up looking really good, but most of the time, over the long run, we think it's still better to go do the approach that we're doing, which is diversify and so forth. So, happy to answer any other questions. Sorry to kind of run through that pretty quick.
I have just one or two. Did the solar garden that you did last year went to 2 Wisconsin communities? Are you looking at doing something like that here in the near future?
Yeah, well, we're working out. I'd say I've been involved in that project pretty detailed, and we're working out the bugs. I wouldn't be too disappointed that she didn't make the cut on that one, because there's a number of issues we're finding that it's a little more difficult to work through. We want to make sure. What we're trying to accomplish there with the solar garden is we were trying to, instead of having everyone put all these things on their house, on the rooftops, we're saying, well, let us put a big farm out, and people can buy the solar panels on the farm, from the farm. And it's, unfortunately, the cost effective, it really doesn't, you really need to get really large to get really cost effective. People are saying they can get cost effective solar, but they got to be a megawatt. They got to be really large, and the people that are putting them on their house are, 1/50th of that size, 1/500th of that size. They're quite a bit smaller, and so you don't, with the smaller, so, you know, we're struggling, with these two are gonna be 100 kW size, and we're working through trying to figure out exactly how the members pay. You know, they've gotta provide the site, there's gonna be some significant contributions on those, and we're just trying to work through it and try to figure out how to work. You still have net metering, you know, people can put them up on the rooftops, and still can accommodate it that way. But it's a struggle that the utility industry is dealing with right now. You know, just how are we gonna do this in a way so that people who don't have solar aren't being penalized for not having solar? You know, because there is definitely some subsidization going on for the people who do have solar. And so, you know, that's an issue the industry is kind of working through right now. So I think we'll work through that here. We're gonna see how these two pilots go. We're gonna be back, you know, seeing if other members wanna do it, you know, hopefully next year, once we get those two up and running. We're trying to get them up and going by spring, early summer next year.
One other, quite a deal going on in Iowa now about a clean energy line going down to Rock Island and not helping the state of Iowa. By some of your contacts in Illinois, would that be tying into that energy at all, or?
There's a little bit that, you know, you built a lot of wind in Iowa, and we took advantage